Hey everybody, it's Gina Page from African Ancestry, and it's Wednesday. We're doing our weekly Facebook Live, and as you know, we're celebrating Black Music Month, and so I'm so excited. We've had some amazing African Ancestry family members. We started off with our team. I had Simone and Kelly and our Uber Facebook Live producer, Ty, on with me. And then the next week we had Will Calhoun, the Grammy award-winning drummer from the group Living Color. And then we followed that up with Quinn Johnson. She's an amazing tap dancer and creator of the performance group Soul Defined. She's also a body percussionist. We learned about that. And this week, we have Eric Roberson. Oh my goodness. I'm very excited to have Eric Roberson on the show now. I met Eric 4 years ago. I met Eric on the Capital Jazz Super Cruise. And I had no idea what I was in for when I met this man. He is a singer, a songwriter. Are you a producer? I'm sure you do a producer. He's a comedian. He's a father. He's a what else? He's crazy. He's fun. He's all those things. A
Howard graduate.
A what?
Howard University graduate.
Oh, he's a Bison. HU. I didn't go there, so I'm not going to say, Okay. But anyway, welcome Eric Roberson. He's traveling all over the country, and he's taking a few minutes for us, and I just really appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on here, and hey to everybody who's watching. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't know where to start with you. We have so much to talk about. But as I started off saying, we met on the Capital Jazz Super Cruise about 4 years ago, and you got this sort of out of the blue email probably or call asking you if you'd be interested in finding out where you were from. And you said yes. Yeah. And so you took the test, our matriclan test, and I came on the cruise and revealed your ancestry to you and your wife in front of everybody. So tell me what your African ancestry experience has been like.
Well, the funny thing was, remember, I was on tour when we first got the message.
Oh, that's right.
You guys were like trying to meet me in the city and get the package. You're like, all we need to do is like swab your inner cheek. And I was like, I missed one city. So I don't know what city. It might have been Washington, D.C.
where I was coming through. I left it for you at your hotel.
At my hotel room. That's right. So what I did not expect, but at the same time I wasn't surprised by it, was how emotional the reveal was. Like, remember, I broke down, you know, and I'm trying to break down now. Come on now, stay thug life. Come on, let's get focused. I think, you grew up your entire life just accepting that there's no way of knowing what your history is, but tracing back, and to have a glimpse of your history was enormously emotional for me. I have yet to take a trip back to Sierra Leone or New Guinea, but it's definitely on my, I can't even say bucket list, it's on my list in general to take a trip back there. And it's just powerful, man. It's powerful to even share that information with your family in general, and the conversation that it kind of evokes. But I was enormously emotional. I remember like just breaking out into tears. Just I wasn't prepared just for how filling the information was. That's probably the best way to word it.
Well, that made me happy, because now I know every time you see me, you won't forget who I am, and you'll have this great feeling like, oh, African ancestry. I feel
yeah. And I thank you for it. I appreciate it. I truly do.
No, I appreciate it. So one of the groups that you share ancestry with, Eric, is the Mende people living in Sierra Leone today. And as I told you back then, the Mende were the ones that were on the Amistad. Yes. So in my mind, they weren't having any of it. They turned the ships around.
I'm still turning ships around,
So
it's fitting, you know what I mean?
So tell me, can we hear any of the traditional themes in Mende songs in your songs? Because those themes are like love, war, death, religion. I'm feeling like there's some connection here.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, first and foremost, what I write, we try to call it honest music. So it's like whatever we feel in our spirit, and it really is whatever we take in as we're traveling. You know what I mean? So if I see injustice, I'm gonna write about injustice. If I see something about love, I'm gonna write about love. Currently, right now, we're writing an album called Fire, which is like my What's Going On album. And right now we got a song called Slave Owners, which is really talking about our money. George Washington had 300 slaves. You know what I mean? I try to make sure I have a pocket full of slave owners every day I walk around. Hey, they try to own us. We own them now. Come on now. It's a lot of songs about just trying to find the right and trying to deal with, the wrong that we've had to accept in the long term. And when you think of Amistad, how brave the sacrifice was to risk your life. I mean, at the same time, you're going into literally hell, so you might as well, do whatever you can to turn that situation around, and they did. So it's a powerful story, and if my family can, if I look at my kids and their little rebellious spirit, I can kind of see where it comes from. When we trying to feed him some cereal, he's like, no, it's like, that's my boy right there. That's my boy. I know where it came from.
Now, speaking of kids, you have 3 beautiful sons.
Yeah.
You're working on a team over there. You're working on a starting lineup. But I understand that they're starting to display some musical talent.
Yeah. So I got a 6-year-old named Rock, 4-year-old is Ryder, and the 1-year-old is Max. And yeah, all of them sing. They all stay around music instruments. Really, Rock is probably, though he's the oldest, Rock's the one whose voice is really probably developed the most. Like, he's really, really singing around here now. Ryder is the one who's more like a producer. He's probably one that's more observant in what I'm doing in the studio, and he tries to mimic what my studio is. He takes his little toys. He'll put his piano right here, and then he'll set a little toy keyboard up there, and then he'll move a little keyboard mic stand, and then put his little toy saxophone on it, and then another guitar part. He's like, all right, Dad, start the music. It's like he's more trying to do that. And Max just stays around music. Max, all of them had a certain song that would calm them down. I sang to them ever since they were in my wife's stomach to now. So even Max is, pretty much singing. When I'm home, which is pretty much 5 days out the week, I pretty much sing him to sleep almost every night. And he'll kind of sing along right there with me and slowly just drift off.
So you have the magic power when you need to get them to sleep. Which song.
I mean, listen, the sing. If it's a gift, the gift comes with the kids. Like that was the main thing. I remember when we first had my first son, Rock, and here I'm going back on the road again, and he was, and anytime he was really crying, my wife would call and say, just sing the ABCs to him. Or I had a song called Mr. Nice Guy. If Mr. Nice Guy came on, I don't care if he had the most irate cry. He would stop mid-cry and just listen to the song. So as soon as the song was over, he'd start crying again. And each one had their own specific song. So we just, always had to find what that song was, and we try to play it nonstop around them so they wouldn't be crying.
That's cool. And shout out to your wife, Shawn. She's a special sister. She
really is.
At least when I've seen you on the cruise.
Listen, I learned full hand that you can't accomplish what we've been able to accomplish in my music business without a strong woman to really help you out and navigate through the craziness, and then accept how crazy the music business stuff is. I mean, you get it puts you on the road at crazy times, and there's a lot of stuff that you miss. So she got to hold down a lot, and she's holding down her job and all the other obligations. So shout out to her, man. She really helps me out.
Yes.
Yeah,
we love her at African Ancestry. Okay, so I forgot to put entrepreneur in your title because you're definitely an entrepreneur as well. They call you king of the indies.
Well, I mean, I definitely wasn't first. What's that?
How do you feel about that?
Well, I appreciate the title. I don't fight from it. I don't. What I always say is I wasn't the first person to put out an independent album. Especially when it comes to R&B and soul, there will definitely, I look at Fertile Ground as people that I learned from. But I think, through the years, when the way it used to go was you'll put out an independent record, and then once you sold a certain amount, the majors would come in and they'll sign you. And that's what happened with Kim and Dwele and Raheem Devine and Guapale and Lettuce, so many different people, And for me, I kind of went the opposite way. I went through the major deals. I was working in the music business for so long. So for me, when I put out my independent album, I wasn't interested in going the major route again. I knew that ended. I knew how that was. So for me was, what happens if we just stay on this course? What if we stay independent? What if we keep pushing? And I think because we did that, the choices we did in that, I think is what led us to getting a title like that. But, anything that kind of helps the overall brand, not just mine, but the indie movement in general, and helps music and helps the balance, I'm for it, man. I'll never fight a title if somebody feels I'm deserving of it.
Nice. So tell us, who are some of the indie artists you think we should be listening to?
There's so many. I mean, it's literally, there's so many, but
maybe some of the lesser known ones, because some of them have pretty big names now, but maybe some of the ones who are up and coming.
PJ Morton, who's I'll name all the young Jedis. PJ Morton, Algebra Blessett, Emily King. There's a group called King, a 3-girl group called King. There's a young lady named Micki Miller who I put on my top 5 on the songs. She just put out an album right now that's blowing everybody's minds. Carmen Rodgers, Fertile Ground. Foreign Exchange. I mean, the list, I can keep pointing them.
Well, that's a good list.
That's a good amount right there. I mean, what I would tell everybody is that we're at a great time in music. Some of the best music in the entire world is being made right this very second. It's just the difference is that we have to go out and find it now. That's the difference. It's not really being played on the mainstream radio. There's no real videos playing on TV. If you want your senses to be heightened, you just have to look for it. The same way as you could choose to drive through McDonald's drive-through, and a quarter pounder, is fulfilling to a certain degree, but there's amazing meals in the world. That's the same thing. Like, if you really look for it, you'll find some music that will completely blow your mind.
So speaking of music, that's a perfect segue, that completely blows your mind. You have to be the most uniquely gifted brother at writing a song on the spot.
Well, for me, it's about, I'm a person in love with combining words. It's as simple as that. I love the combination of words. I trust the process. So a lot of it is just trusting the process. We all really can do it. I trust. My thing is I'm just willing to fail by the chance of finding magic, by the possible chance that I'll get goosebumps all over. I'm willing to crash into a wall if the opposite is if I don't crash in this wall, I'll be flushed with an amazing, a beautiful emotion. And that to me is when you combine the right words together, it paints a beautiful picture. And that, so we do it at the shows. We do it every time I get on stage. We're pretty much doing it.
Now, how do you do it though? Explain to, because I've seen you do it. I've experienced it, but tell our viewers how it works. So I'm at a show, you're either emceeing or it's your show, and what happens?
Well, it could be anything. I mean, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll take words from the crowd and we'll, sentences, words or whatever. And we'll just say, don't make it easy, because we do it every night. So if you say love and peace, you're like, okay, love and peace. I can sing a song, but it won't really be like, wow. But if you go, slap you upside the head with a biscuit, I'm like, oh, okay. Because really now it's like, what's the challenge of how do we fit slap you upside the head with a biscuit and Al Sharpton, okay, that's the 2 words. And I'll honestly tell you, once again, you trust in the process. If I think about making it work or will it work, it won't work. So what I have to do is I have to just literally just be it. I'm probably just as surprised that it's working as much as you are. But at the same time, for years we'll do a show, and if something in the audience caught our attention, we'll stop the show and we'll sing a song right about that right there. Let's say if a couple's making out in the front row, we might stop the show and make a song about that couple making out. Or if there's a young lady with a brush cut with waves, I might stop and write a song about her. Or, you know, whatever. Or like a couple comes in real late. You know, we'll stop. We'll make a song really like, you know, it's 45 minutes into the show. Y'all just getting in. Whose fault is it? You know, is she mad at you, brother? Or you mad at, you know, whatever. And I think just trusting the process, because every time we stop to do that, we don't know what we're going to say. We don't know where we're going, but we find our way. And I think to me, it's really a true example that the answer is already there. It's already created. God has already created it, truth be told. We're just the fishermen who are pulling it out of the lake. You know what I mean? And or it's done, and God is giving me the puzzle pieces, and then I'm putting it together. So we practice, we train, we work hard. I mean, I spent years just hammering words together: water bottle, full throttle, computer producer, ceiling, healing, feeling, flower, hour, power, shower. I mean, I hammered that, so that part is not a thought anymore. So now I just see what I need to write about, and we just write it. Okay, so you know what I mean?
I want to pull rank, and I want to ask you to do an African Ancestry Facebook Live song. Can you do it a cappella?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are 4 of us in the office. I want each of y'all to give me a word. Beautiful. Mitochondrial.
Woo! Lord, gee, I'm going to write this down. Beautiful. Mitochondrial. Help me out. Mitochondrial means, just give me
mitochondrial DNA is what you inherited from your mother. She got
exactly. Okay, so mitochondrial DNA. I'm writing the whole thing down.
Okay.
Beautiful. All right, that's so beautiful.
Mitochondrial DNA. Results.
Okay.
And identity. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Identity. And what was the first one?
Beautiful.
Okay. So we have mitochondrial DNA. We have, look, I get all these results. That's plural. Results with an S. Identity and beautiful. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Since I'm sitting here, I find it suitable to do something that's so beautiful. There is a way our history can speak if we just all swipe our cheeks and get mitochondrial DNA to see what was about yesterday. And we might find results and find how our ancestry was in time. See, I just want my identity. I wish the same for you and me, to know where we are coming from. The results, they made me emotional and numb, but I thank you for showing me who I am all along. So I say, get your mitochondrial DNA and get the results like this song.
Yay!
Hey, second one, beautiful identity, results, mitochondrial DNA. That's right. Swipe them cheeks.
AfricanAncestry.com.
You know what? You should have gave me that one. I would have threw that in there too. Right.
No,
you know it is the bomb. AfricanAncestry.com.
Woo! Thank you, Eric. That was fun.
You're welcome.
Okay, so before I let you go,
yep,
you started talking about fire, right? That's one of your current projects. Is there anything else you're working on?
So what we're doing is we're releasing an album every 3 months. And what we did was in April, we released an album called Earth, which was an album about like self-entitlement, self-improvement, right? So, and then we releasing an album in July next month that's actually being shipped out now. If people can pre-order, and it's called Win. It's a love album. and just a pure love album. So we have Earth, we have Wind, and then in October we're putting out an album that I'm working on right now, and it's called Fire, and that's, like I said, it's attacking police brutality and socialism and racism and all kind of craziness. The beautiful thing is that we have a thing called The Process. The people can go to my website, and when they pre-order the album, they can sign up for The Process. And what that is they can watch me make the album. So what happens is every song I make, we send you a copy of, whether it makes the album or not. And the beautiful thing is it's been great. The people in The Process actually helped pick what songs made the Win album. So I let them pick it. We had probably 13 songs to choose from, and I was telling them pick 5. We actually ended up using 6, I think. And they picked it. They did a great job. So what happens with The Process is literally everything we're doing, whether it doesn't happen, whether something works, something doesn't work, we're literally posting and just being completely transparent. And it's been really good. I think this might be the way we do everything from now on.
Okay. And they can go to EricRobersonMusic.com, right?
EricRobersonMusic.com. And even if you sign up now, you can still get all the old work and also see me working on the Fire album right now.
Nice. Okay, we have that up. So I want to make sure everybody goes to EricRobersonMusic.com and become involved in The Process.
Why not?
You can make music. Okay, yeah. And then I wanted to get your top 5 jams for Black Music Month.
Yes.
And you gave us a great list. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. So which one do you want to start with? Or do you even remember what you put?
Yes, I did. I wrote them down because literally, if you ask me now, it'll be a whole different list. But I will say that
okay, but we can ask you.
No. Let's go with these. Let's go with these because I put these specifically for a reason. Let's start with Bill Withers.
Okay.
So Bill Withers. If I had a chance to work with anybody right now, it'd probably be Bill Withers. I'm a big fan. He has a song called The Same Love That Made Me Laugh, Made Me Cry. Just a funky song. He has so many great records. I was going to say Lean On Me because it's just a powerful, funky song. But The Same Love That Made Me Laugh, Made Me Cry was the song I decided to choose.
Okay. So this is it. Already in here. Okay. So that's the same love that made
me laugh.
That made me laugh. Okay.
Yes. Made me cry.
Okay, what's that?
Wait, what you say?
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
You need another song?
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2. A new artist, one of the independent artists that I mentioned, this young lady from Chicago, or right outside of Chicago. She's written and produced her whole album all on her own, and she's getting a lot of attention. Questlove just retweeted her album out to the world. Her name is Micki Miller, and the song is called Better. Her album is called Summertime Shy, but people need to really check her out.
And so is she a singer? She does all the music too, or?
She's a singer. She's a musician. Yeah, she's a producer. She's just dope, period.
Okay, that's a good one. So we're going to look out for Micki Miller. And her song that you chose is Better.
Yeah.
Okay. What's number 3?
Number 3 is arguably my favorite song of all time. It's a song called Someday by George Duke.
I knew that's what you were going to choose. Okay.
And, I had a fortunate opportunity of meeting George Duke on the cruises and getting to know him very, very well before he passed. And also learning a little bit of the tidbit. He wrote the song when he was in college. I can't imagine how he could just have the brain power to even create this song. But one of my favorite songs by far, a song I sing all the time, but it's Someday by George Duke.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, so we have Bill Withers, Micki Miller, George Duke, and then what are we going to do for number 4?
Number 4 is a record that I actually was involved in, not this particular song, but DJ Jazzy Jeff has this thing called the Playlist. And what he did was he brought in writers and producers from all over the world, and the goal was for us to write and produce an album in 1 week. And we did an album called Chasing Goosebumps. And we used Glenn Lewis as the featured vocalist. So he sang all the songs. And there's a song on there by surprisingly one of the guys who was brought in more as like an engineer and a musician, and he wrote the song called Mr. Grump. Phenomenal record on this album called Chasing Goosebumps that Glenn Lewis is featured on. And it's just a song about, the crazy president we have right now, but a great play on words. And one of those songs that when I heard it, I said, man, I wish I wrote it. I really do wish I wrote it.
This is so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Grump. That's funny. Yesterday, we tried to do Facebook Live, and I turned orange on my screen. I was like, I look like Trump. Okay. So we got
Wow.
Bill Withers, Micki Miller, George Duke, Glenn Lewis, and the playlist folks, playlist crew.
Lastly, if we're celebrating Black music, I got to throw some gospel in here.
Yes.
And if we're going to throw in gospel, let's throw in one of the funkiest, dopest up-tempos of all time. And that's the Clark Sisters, man. The Clark Sisters, You Brought the Sunshine. Get them roller skates out. Get the disco ball out. Get your Bible out. Like, get your barbecue ribs out. This song covers all genres, man. Like, you can party. You can play dominoes to this song. You can praise God to this song. It fits all markets.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a great one. And you do a lot of gospel singing too, don't you? I remember.
Yeah. I mean, we twinkle it into our music in general. I believe that all music can be a ministry, whatever title it has. But at the same time, I'm also in a gospel group with Fred Hammond, Dave Hollister, and Brian Courtney Wilson called United Tenors. And please go out and find that record too, guys. So yeah, I mean, we try to sprinkle it in as much as we can.
Nice. Yeah, if you just joined us, when we're done, please go back to the beginning and rewatch this video, because we have Eric Roberson, who is an amazing singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, producer, father, husband, lover.
Big time Giants fan too.
Giants fan, okay. Giants fan. An all-around great guy, on-the-spot songwriter. And he's been sharing his nuggets about his ancestry and his African ancestry experience and music and the indie movement that he's helping to spearhead right now. He's working on this amazing project that you all have to go check out. It's called
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Winds, and Fire. So what's the fourth month? What's the fourth?
Well, no, it's just 3. We just put out one every 3 months. So Earth came out in April, Wind July, October's Fire.
Okay, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Eric, I know that you are on the go. I know that you have a lot. You're in the middle of an amazing transition, but you also are traveling around the country. And I want to thank you again for sharing some time with us and the African Ancestry family.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I consider you guys family, and I so appreciate all the love and support you're giving to us as well. So by all means, no problem whatsoever. It's been an honor.
All right. Have a great rest of your week.
All right. You too. See y'all, everybody.
Bye.